Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today's video is going to be a bit of a different one, because I'm going to be going over all 8 of the primary assault rifles in Modern Warfare 2. I am also going to be going over all of the attachments that you should be using on these weapons, because I've just completed the grind of getting every single one of the attachments that are good that you should be using on these weapons, and that has taken me a very long time, and I've spent hours testing each and every single weapon in order to get a fair category on which ones I think are the worst and which ones I think are the best. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Unfortunately, at the number 8 spot for the worst assault rifle, we're going to have the M16. Now, I know a lot of you guys who really enjoy this gun are going to be a bit upset at this ranking, but just hear me out on this one. The M16 is the only burst rifle in the assault rifle class. All the other ones are fully automatic, and I feel that although, yes, the M16 is a very good gun, and it can hold its ground very well, and I love the range that it has on it, I just feel that for close range encounters, it is a lot easier to get gunned down by someone who's using a fully automatic weapon. And for that reason, that is why this weapon is going to be placed in the number 8 spot. Now, as for the weapon itself, it is very, very good. Like I said, with the right attachments on it, it basically has no recoil, and you're getting perfect target sighting on almost every shot. As you can see in this clip here, I was doing pretty good taking down the opponents with this weapon. And yeah, but I feel like there's a lot less of a chance for you to clutch up in a situation if you don't get the first shot. Like, if you find an opponent, and he gets the first shot on you with a fully automatic weapon, and you try to fire at him again, and even if you land your shot, the thing is that it's not going to kill him. Normally it takes up to 2 bursts, unless you're really close up to them and you hit them with all 3 of them. But other than that, it's really because of that, which is why this weapon is going to be placed as the worst assault rifle in the game. And when I say the worst, it's anything far from a terrible gun. It's a very, very good gun in this game. Better than a lot of weapons, I would say, in this game. But for the assault rifles go, it is definitely the worst one. And yeah, other than that, for attachments for this weapon, I'm going to go over all the attachments. The best attachments that you're going to want to run on this are the attachments that help the gun's weaknesses. And for the M16, those weaknesses are going to be close range, and it's going to be... oh my god. What is going on right now? Okay. Hold up, and I think my game just crashed. Okay then. Alright, well, I didn't expect that to happen. I'll be right back with you guys soon once I get my game fixed. We're back now, and as I was gonna say before I was interrupted, another weakness that this gun has is the recoil. The recoil default is absolutely horrendous. It was near impossible to hit anything with this weapon, so you're gonna want to use these attachments that basically gives you the best recoil and the best control of your weapon. Number 1 thing, you want to go the Cronin Mini Pro. Best sight in the game by far. It is just superior. It has the most view of your target out of all of them, and it is just the most solid sight that you can use on any weapon. So that's going to be the one that you use. I believe this is the only attachment that I use on every single one of these weapons in this ranking list. That attachment will not change. That is just the most solid thing. You want to have that on all your weapons. Up next here, we got stock. This stock here, you do lose a bit more recoil control, but you really want that ADS speed and crouch movement speed. I'm going to explain to you guys why you want that. Because the rest of the attachments here, as you can see, like this one, we got recoil control, but we lost aiming stability. And here, we got a bunch of accuracy, but we lose our ADS speed. And same thing with this here, the FTAC Castle Comp. You have to run this in order to get the basically no recoil build with this weapon. So yeah, when you rock this muzzle and you rock this underbarrel along with this grip here, it basically cancels out the recoil, and the reason you want to run this stock is because it basically undoes the negative stats that it would have given you from getting no recoil. For this build, these are going to be the best attachments you can use for the M16. Up next, we have the Kastov 7.4U. This gun was placed just above the M16 for one reason, and that is that it is full auto. That is the only reason this gun is better than the M16, is because for those close range engagements, it is a lot more reliable than the M16, and it feels more like one of them guns that you can use to really just run around the map and take people out feel like with the M16 you also needed more of a camping play style, almost, because it is burst. But anyways, back onto the Kastov 74U, it is one of the AK-47 style platform weapons in this game, and it definitely isn't one of the best. There are a lot more better options for assault rifles that use the AK-47 platform in this game than the Kastov 74U, and this one suffers from high recoil and low damage. Basically what the M16 was, although the M16 does more damage than this gun. The only thing is that with the attachments added onto the Kastov 74U, you could basically counteract all of the recoil, making the gun very, very good and very usable in some scenarios. And as a demonstration for this video here, you guys can see a lot of the combat that I was doing was close range in some of these buildings. It was able to eliminate a lot of people quite quickly, and it was even very reliable from far ranges. The only issue is that this weapon kind of feels like an SMG sometimes, and it is a lot weaker in comparison to the other rifles. And that's kind of the dead giveaway to this thing as to why I have to put it this low. It's just everything else is better. It's just, I couldn't see myself putting this weapon any higher than it is, so it's going to be at the number 7 spot. Attachment-wise on the Kastov 74U, it is quite simple with this weapon. You're going to want to go, again, the Cronin Mini Pro. It is the best sight. For the stock, you're going to want to go with a different stock this time. The Spetsnaz S10 stock. You lose a bit more recoil control and aim walking speed, but you get all of these statistics for helping your movement. That's basically what you want to do. Being as fast as you possibly can really helps you a lot. And like here again, we got ADS time. That's why if you add this sight and this stock, it gives you a really, really fast ADS time, which is the kind of playstyle we want to be using with this weapon. Again, the same foregrip as the last one. Is just one of the best foregrips in the game. You're going to want to rock that one. And then again, the FTAC Castle Comp. Unfortunately, this is kind of the only reason you'll have to use this muzzle is if the weapon that you're using has terrible recoil, and that's what this weapon suffers from. And it is kind of an L because you could put like a suppressor on there and make it so much more better for like being silent is very helpful. But unfortunately with this weapon you have to run this loadout in order to make it be really, really usable. So yeah, this build basically makes this gun very solid, and yeah, I would definitely use this again. But again, not as good as the rest of the weapons on this list, and suffers from the recoil, which is why you have to use the FTAC Castle Comp. Up next, we have the Kastov 545, which is basically the ugly brother to the Kastov 762, which we'll be getting to that one soon. But yeah, basically this weapon is a heavy hitter, better version of the Kastov 74U as well, and that's why it's going to be ranked just one rank above the Kastov 74U, because this gun is just better than it. And what I mean by better, the range is there. It has a lot better range. It has way better accuracy. It has such good accuracy that you actually don't even have to do anything to really change the accuracy. I actually have attachments that make the accuracy worse and the recoil worse on this gun, and it's still amazing. And yeah, because of that, I'm able to rock a suppressor on this weapon, and basically any of the guns that you're able to rock a suppressor on because it has such good recoil is going to be a good gun, and this is one of them. The only reason it is going to be ranked a bit lower here is because the damage is not that great, I'm gonna be honest. There are a lot more heavy hitter weapons, and I feel like this one's very clunky as well. Like, there's just something about the reload that just seems a bit odd, and this weapon just feels a little strange to me when using it. But it is still very solid, and I really do like this one a lot. I am going to put it here, though, because I believe number 6 spot is fair, and everything else above this is just going to be better. But for an assault rifle goes, we're getting into the really good ones, and this one is definitely one of those ones. As for attachment-wise goes, for the Kastov 545, you're going to want to use, again, the Cronin Mini Pro superior sight. A little bit different here, the Pro Light TL3 stock, because it is just the best one. Again, you lose aiming stability, recoil control, but the speed is very, very helpful on this gun because, again, the recoil really doesn't matter because it's such a heavy hitter, and it's very easy to control the recoil on this, and it really doesn't make much of a difference. And same thing with the grip. You're going to want to use a fast grip, you lose a bit more recoil control. And then here you go, you gain a bit more of it back using the Skalanger Tango. I probably butchered that. But anyways, this is again the best foregrip that you can use for this gun. And because it's not a terrible recoil weapon, you can actually rock the Echoless 80, which is by far the best suppressor in the game, and it gives you extra bullet velocity, damage range, recoil smoothness, sound suppression, but you lose your ADS speed and your aiming stability, but it really, at the end of the day, doesn't affect the gun too much. It's very, very good, and the suppressor is an added bonus because now you're suppressed. It's a lot easier to get behind enemies, and also you don't show up on the radar when you fire with a suppressor, I believe, unless they've changed that, but I'm not sure. I'm not fully sure, actually. But anyways, these are going to be the best attachments for the Kastov 545, and we're going to get on into the next weapon. In our number 5 spot, we have the M4. And I know this one's probably going to piss a lot of people off, because this is the main weapon for a lot of you guys out there. But let's be honest, the M4, it is just the best mid-range assault rifle that you could use in the game. It's not great at some things, but it's also not terrible at a lot of others. So I feel a number 5 rating is very fair and very solid for this gun. The reason for that is the range and the accuracy. The M4 has terrible accuracy default, and the range is nothing compared to some of the other rifles that you're going to see up on this list. And you have to use a lot of attachments to really make this thing shine. You have to use a whole special build to really bring out the best in it, because everyone's like, M4 no recoil build, it's really good. But the reason this gun is higher than the others is because the close range aspect for it is just great. It's almost sort of like comparable to an SMG. It's great for running around and just killing people instantly, and with this build it also gives you that extra range. It can allow you to get those players that are camping far away or that are just out of reach. But the run and gun playstyle is definitely the best with this gun out of all of them that I've listed so far, which is why this one's going to be ranked a number 5, but I just feel the rest of the assault rifles are better than this one. So that's why I'm going to put the M4 here. It is just the most mid-range assault rifle in this game, and I believe it deserves to be at the number 5 spot. Looking at the M4 attachment-wise, it's going to be definitely very unique with this weapon. As you can already see, we're not doing a rear grip this time, but we're actually going with a barrel. And the barrel's very important on this one, because this is where you're going to get all of your range. You can see damage range, bullet velocity, hipfire accuracy. Very, very good. The hipfire accuracy, great for when you're in the close range encounters, and the range is exactly what this gun needs, so that's why you gotta rock this. And also it has a pretty good barrel. This is a very good barrel compared to a lot of them that are just terrible, so this one is, you could get away with that one. Again, you're gonna have to run the FTAC Castle Comp for the recoil. You can't run a suppressor. Well, you could, but you're gonna have to deal with a lot of really bad recoil, and then there's no point to having the range because you won't be able to hit anything. So with this build, it's basically the no recoil M4 build, and it gives you a lot of range as well. Again, the same foregrip at the bottom. It is just the best one. And you want to go the Cronin Mini Pro, best sight. And then here we got the Ravage 8 stock, and this one gives you mobility, but it didn't go with the Tempest Peef 80 strike stock because you lose a bit of aiming stability, and with the M4 you really want to be picky with things like that because you get rid of any of that aiming stability and this gun will just start firing in all these random places. So with this loadout you'll be able to compete with the other rifles pretty good, and you'll get the added bonus, the super fast fire rate that it has to really take out opponents quickly in close range. So yeah, this is the best loadout you could pretty much have for the M4, and I'm going to get on to the next weapon. In our number 4 spot, we got the Kastov 762. This is one of my favorite weapons in this entire game, and it is definitely the best AK-47 platform weapon in this entire game. This weapon is basically the heavy hitter version of all of the other assault rifles in this class, and it does high damage, high range, has amazing recoil, it is very easy to control, and it is a very punishing weapon. It definitely takes a lot more skill to use, for sure, because these rifles are a little bit slower, but they definitely give you a great reward if you could use them very well. And I put this one higher than the M4 because I feel like I enjoy using this weapon a lot more, and in close range engagements I feel like I'm very consistent with this weapon. Even more so than the M4. It is very reliable. I feel like this weapon will never let me down. And yeah, because of that, with the recoil being so good, again, you could rock the suppressor. The build is basically going to be exactly the same as the one for the Kastov 545. And yeah, the only difference is that the gun is a lot better. So that's really the only difference. So this is a very solid number 4 spot. And after this, it's really getting into the top 3 guns that are really going to make this game, and the guns that you guys should be using that are truly borderline overpowered, I would even say, these top 3. But yeah, this is going to be one of the last few sort of normal ones, but I would say this one is definitely the best out of all of the assault rifles listed so far. Attachment wise for the Kastov 762, it's literally exactly the same as the Kastov 545. You got the Cronin Mini Pro, you got the ProLite TL3 stock, exact same thing, exact same grip, exact same underbarrel and the exact same muzzle. You got the suppressor again, amazing suppressor. So yeah, the only difference is that this gun is a lot better than the Kastov 545, and these attachments, they are basically the same, and they work the same, and they work even better. So yeah. Up next, the first weapon in our number 3 spot is going to be the Lachmann 556. This gun is absolutely incredible. The footage that I'll be showing you guys here is a little bit older. It was before I actually got the Cronin mini sight, so my sight is a little bit different. But it still is an insane gun. Even without that sight, I was still able to do hella damage, and I was able to actually get my first ever Ruthless badge in this game using this loadout. So yeah, this gun, definitely do not take this thing for granted. It is the best gun you could probably use for run and gun scenarios. It definitely beats the M4. It is a better version of the M4 by far, considering that it's the part of the Lachmann series as well. And the submachine gun version of this gun is absolutely insane, and the assault rifle version is just incredible as well. So this is definitely a great number 3 on this list, and really the only 2 guns that beat this gun are just so incredibly broken. They are the only reason they could do better than this gun is because of how powerful they are. And at range, because the only thing that this gun lacks a little bit is the range, but other than that, it's pretty much a perfect gun. There's not much else I can really say. It's basically one of the perfect all-around assault rifles that you could pretty much get in this whole game. Looking at attachment-wise for the Lachmann 556, you're going to want to run things a little bit different here. So you got the Cronin Mini Pro, obviously that's the best sight you want to be using. It's not the one I was using in the clip, but it's definitely the one that I will be using from now on, ever since I unlocked it. As for the stock, you're going to want to go with the Lachmann S9 Factory. It is just the best one because this gun has barely any recoil, so the recoil control con is not terrible. For the grip, again, same thing. It's basically got the same stats as the other grips. You get that ADS speed, and that ADS speed is very helpful, and you're going to need that. As for the stock here, actually, or not stock, the foregrip, we actually went with something different here. I didn't want to lose out on some more ADS time because I wanted this gun to be a lot faster because of the fire rate and the playstyle, so I went with something else. I went for hip fire accuracy, hip recoil control, and aim walking steadiness with the Bruin tilt grip. So that one works pretty good with this weapon instead of, say, using the regular one where you lose ADS. I wanted to go with speed on this weapon, and this is definitely, I would say, the fastest assault rifle out of all of them. And then again, the Echoless 80 for the suppressor. You just gotta rock that suppressor. It is by far the best one in the game, and yeah, it's very good and reliable to get behind opponents and kill them very quickly. So this is the updated build for the Lachmann 556, and it is by far the best one. The second best assault rifle in the game is going to be the STB 556. This is one that I've really started to like using, and it is absolutely insane. The fire rate is incredible, and with the right attachments, it has almost limitless range, unlimitless range, and it is just insane. Close range clutches up every single time for me. It is the best run and gun assault rifle I've ever used, and I honestly love this one so much. The Lachmann 5.56 had a bit better mobility, but I find this one is a bit better with damage, and the range and the accuracy as well is a bit better. So it's basically the Lachmann 5.56 on steroids, and it is just insanely powerful in all scenarios of gameplay. So yeah, this one, top tier assault rifle, one of the best guns in this entire game. And the only thing that could ever be better than this is our weapon in the #1 spot. Before we get into the last weapon, and what I think is the best assault rifle in this entire game, we're going to go through the attachments for the STB 5.56. And this one is a little bit different, and it kind of combines two of these attachment methods that I've been using for all of these weapons to make them good all into one. So obviously you got the Cronin Mini Pro, again, the best sight, but this time we got some other things here. The stocks are terrible, so instead we use the comb with this weapon. So we're going to go with the FTAC C11 Riser comb, and that one gives you the sprint to fire time and the ADS, and get rid of some of that aiming stability, because this gun, it's very, very good with its accuracy. So, and the same thing with the grip, it's basically the same stats as a bunch of the other grips, but just a different name. The ADS time, and yeah, all of that makes this weapon very, very fast. And what's different here is we're going with a barrel. And this barrel basically gives us that range, because this weapon is actually very lackluster on range until you upgrade it. But when you add this barrel to the gun, it makes it 10 times better. This weapon, you could hit anyone from any range using this barrel, and this attachment really makes this gun what it is. And then compare that, add it on to the Echoless 80, gives you even more damage range and bullet velocity. It's just perfect. With this all combined into this loadout, the loadout changes this whole gun completely, from being like a close range, almost sort of SMG, to like a full-on assault rifle. You can use it wherever the hell you want. So yeah, that's the only downside really to this gun, is that the attachments really make it what it is, and that's kind of what the #1 option beats it at everything is. It's literally, you could use it no attachments and it will still be broken overpowered. So yeah, let's get into #1. In at the #1 spot, we're gonna have the TAC 56. This is by far the best assault rifle in the game, hands down. This is basically the SCAR in this game, and it is infinitely good in every way. It has a slightly slower fire rate, but with that slower fire rate, it has some of the highest damage of any of the assault rifles. It can drop in only 2 bullets, which is absolutely insane. Not only that, it has some of the best accuracy of any of the weapons, and the range is absolutely incredible. It is basically a laser, and you could scan pretty much anyone across the map with this gun. And with the loadout that makes it even better, it's just incredible. Not only that, you get that really cool beta blueprint that you got with it if you played through the beta, which makes it even cooler as well. And yeah, I honestly rock that with it. And even the blueprint, like the attachments you get with it, are really good as well. And I didn't even need to grind out the gun all the way to get all the attachments, because I had them on just the blueprint, so that was pretty helpful as well. But yeah, anyways, this gun is definitely the best in the game. The best time I ever had playing was when I was using this weapon. It is very reliable, and the reload time is great. Everything about it is just perfect. So yeah, this is definitely the #1 spot, and now I'm going to get into some of the attachments that I use with this weapon. As far as the attachments go on the TAC 56, you're going to want to rock the Cronin Mini Pro, obviously. I actually got a stock on here. It's part of the blueprint, but you can't actually see it. If I go to add another attachment, it shows that I have 5 attachments equipped in, so it's just a little bug that they have. But the stock that I have equipped is going to be the TV X-Line Pro for superior aim down sight speed, as it says. I don't know why it's not showing the stats. As I said, it's a little bit broken. Here we got, again, the same grip that pretty much all of the other guns have that I'm using, just a different name. As for, yeah, we're using the exact same foregrip. And then again, the Echoless 80, the best suppressor in the game. This gun works perfectly with all of these attachments, and honestly works the best with these attachments as compared to all of the other guns. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the attachments. And if you guys have trouble changing attachments on blueprints like this, I showed you guys a demonstration in one of my short videos if you guys want to check that out. And yeah, that's gonna be it for these attachments. That's gonna wrap things up for today's video. It is quite a lengthy one, and yeah, it took me hours to grind out all of these attachments, actually pretty much days to grind out all the attachments and hours to put together this video. So if you guys made it this far, thanks. I really appreciate that. It really helps me grow the channel and hopefully one day build a community around stuff like this, because I really enjoy doing this stuff, and I'd love to see you guys in the next video, probably do LMGs or something like that. But yeah, other than that, hope you guys have a great day.